Good afternoon, Net2Phone Nation. This is Brian Holdorf, Director of Partner Development. I'm super excited to be able to present to you today. Got a lot going on here and got a jam-packed session. Super excited to be able to change our format up a little bit and specifically come in and talk about auto dealers and how Net2Phone wins, and you, the partner, and the customer can win too with Net2Phone and car dealerships. So super excited to have you as always. We know partners have choices, so we just thank you so much for your time and appreciate all that you bring. On the call here, I have, as always, my cohorts, Director of Marketing, Denise Darienza, and also joining is our Senior Sales Engineer, Jason Tellis. I've invited them both here as I speak and present. We encourage questions and participation, so each of them today will be monitoring the chat and helping answer questions as we go along and continue the discussion. And if we have time at the end, we can open up to more conversation. Everything here will be shareable, and we will also share any kind of questions out there lingering or such. So with that, super excited to get started and be able to talk to you about Net2Phone. So again, keep the participation coming and flowing, and we're here to help you. So for all of those here today, welcome to Net2Phone. We are a family. We know our partners by name, we know our customers by name, and we know our employees by name. We are ultra focused in the hosted voice and SIP trunk space, where we deliver our services over top. So we allow you, the partner, to find the customer the best internet options available. And we deliver our services nationwide, international, small set, all the way up to Fortune 50 type arrangements, multi-site, single site capabilities with our hosted voice solutions. So here is me for anybody that wants to reach out and ever need to conversate with me. I'm here to help you, the partner, be successful with Net2Phone. That can help getting onboarded, getting the tools necessary, getting you all those capabilities in hand, and as well as helping you with presentations, and later, if ever needed, all the kind of like that Maytag salesman commercial kind of thing. I'm here to help with escalations too, if ever needed, with your involvements as well. So to know Net2Phone and a little bit about us is, again, as I earlier stated, we're ultra focused in the hosted voice and SIP trunk spacing. But yet, as an operating subsidiary, we're part of a global giant in IDT. IDT is synonymous for a long-term tenure in IP development, communications, and such like this. And it just gives us so many benefits in part with our Net2Phone story. But I look at it as the history, the tenure, and the future. And we're just here today, here tomorrow, and here the next day, which is super important with this global backing that we have. We also, from our product position, again, as we're ultra focused in our space, we don't cloud it with a little dot and have 18 different lines, and you, the partner, painfully got to vet out which these suppliers really don't do in their portfolio. Again, with us being just focused in our space, we can deliver the best capabilities, worldwide, always with Net2Phone. In part with our hosted voice, as I specifically kind of position that right at the moment here, we offer a single seat license delivery methodology, and it makes it very easy to transact. And what does that mean? That means a lot of other providers, they deliver their hosted voice capability in stages or structure, a hierarchy, a basic seat, an intermediate, an advanced seat, a low usage seat, a metered seat. All these are designed to upsell, become political, make it difficult, self-management down to each and every individual of who doesn't get what or who gets what. When we deliver our capability over a single seat license, it makes it very easy for the customer now to have ownership of those capabilities, and they get to distribute as they wish. Again, just making it further easy, just always ongoing to help Net2Phone or position Net2Phone. Also, we have some great capabilities as far as our calling plans and such, which I'll talk about. And then as we roll into installations, we dedicate a project manager and an onboarding engineer to each and every experience. We of course want the partner involved as much as they can, as they have this relationship and most knowing the infrastructure and such like this. But in those cases, again, you can feel comfortable knowing that net2phone, if you throw it over that proverbial fence, we're going to work it with our solution set and our processes through the success all the way up until the installation and the porting of the solution. On average, we're completing our deals within 22 days. From a support position, I think we definitely differentiate ourselves from the proverbial herd with a more expensive US-based capability. We, of course, manage and monitor everything through automation when and where we can in occurrences. And we see it with our more expensive capability that operates 24/7, mind you, doesn't turn off the lights at 5 o'clock and run to a ghost ship that keeps it going. Imagine you all are trying to do installations late in the afternoon and such like this and calling into support, and it's the knock saying we don't help with day-to-day activity and such like this. Real world scenarios, or post sales calling in and getting an international response where they're literally reading off a card with the next steps and what to do, and you can, it takes 10 minutes to get your name right, etc. Just not the case with net2phone. When you get a US-based capability, we see the results. We measure those results. And we see a 95% first call resolution with a 25-second mean time to answer. As we compare that and contrast that to others, or even the new launch of Microsoft and Teams and their phone system solution and how they're going to support, we definitely see these as competitive edge, and for your customers' benefit, always for your customers' benefit, always free 24/7 US-based support. We also separate ourselves with free initial training, which again, many companies out there do a great job with that, and no complaints there. But how many suppliers do you know that provide an ongoing training element? Think about this. We're talking about here aligning with auto car dealerships, and what are they synonymous for? They're turnover. The salespeople turnover constantly and such like this. And we want to talk about retention and keeping top talent, not watching them walk out the door, but it starts with the training. Instead of that train the trainer mentality that just continues on with other suppliers, we actually boast weekly free training classes that our certified trainers sitting there each and every week waiting for new entrants to come in and help them get onboarded with the tools necessary. When you're talking about a technology that can do so many things, and now positioning that in a manner where customers will actually use it because they understand it, then it's all the benefit for everybody. We provide an ongoing training element as long as they're a customer for free. Really check that out, differentiator with us in net2phone. Also, it's just super important to note is, for those of you who can see my screen here, there's no other hosted voice company that can put a network architecture overlay like this in front. With our soft switches, we are multi-image redundant, fully backed, offering a 5.9 reliability, 99.999% uptime. On average, that's like less than 2 minutes a year per downtime. You contrast that to many others that are 3.9 as far as their delivery, and you're talking about weeks of downtime on average in comparison. This is a carrier grade network infrastructure and outlay right here. And the best reference I can give you is each and every day globally, our competitors are using our capability to deliver their services. So that's the reference you need, then there's the reference we have. But when we look at this, we boast 14 fully global data redundant centers, some 200 plus co-location redundant capabilities, multiple private AWS co-locations out there. And all of this networking is intelligent, it's smart, and it's look ahead. It's exactly what hosted voice has and needs and wants. It looks at that packet and says, where's the best route to go for success? And that's how we deliver. Our competitors are looking at local in-region data centers, and they're talking about their low latency because of their range and such like this. But what about times of issues and problems, and even human problems of fiber cuts and such like this that can bring those type of solutions down? Disasters. I promise you, during those hurricanes and hurricane seasons and such that affected the East Coast and the Gulf Coast and stuff, those local data centers are not your friends. Also, we deliver capabilities internationally like no other company. And we always teach our partners to ask the international capability with net2phone. With our global solution here and our multiple image pops and stuff like this, we provide local hardware calling capabilities international. So what does that mean? When an international call takes place and it goes to a calling country, with net2phone, it stays in those countries because we're physically present. We have hardware capabilities in there that keeps that call local. When you're talking about other competitors, their call goes across the pond and then actually has to come back across the pond for US delivery when they make international calls and capabilities. And that's exactly what hosted voice doesn't want, that delay and jitter that they're bringing to the table. If there is an international need, I am almost certain net2phone can help position you stronger with our capabilities. Always ask the international question with net2phone. In part with that, of course, with our hosted voice and our SIP trunks, we have unlimited US-based calling, and that should be a me too out there, and very much so. But how many other suppliers out there boast a calling capability with 40 unlimited free calling countries? As we know, auto dealerships, they're aligned in Canada, they're aligned in Europe, they're aligned in Mexico. Their needs are such that they're calling these countries, and here we offer free calling capabilities. And it's always great when, again, our partners realize this and take advantage of this. And many of them are using it strategically. Of course, it's great to be first, lower and a position and such. But what we want to work with this calling plan is that to strengthen your position, provide that complete solution that partners desire and demand. And in part, when you can see savings, take that savings and in turn and strengthen it and provide a fiber solution where nobody else is selling a fiber internet capability. Sell a broadband backup where nobody's talking about redundancy capabilities with that savings. That's how we align. And it's just super important to know too that this was 25 free calling countries just a few months ago. But because of you, the partners keep constantly bringing us new capabilities, teams, and our growth and such like this. We keep continually adding free countries. If you have an opportunity, bring it to us. If it isn't a free calling country, maybe we can make it a free calling country. If it isn't a free call, or we can't make it a free calling country, maybe we can give you an individual case basis of free calling into that country. So bring us these opportunities. And just to end here, if it isn't a free calling country and we can't deliver that free calling need, then I promise you, our per minute rate on these countries, toll countries, is going to be the best you can get. You can go out there and search. Our standard rate's going to beat your best rate out there with our IDT backing. Super huge capability here with our international. So why net2phone? Well, of course, it's important to note we're homegrown solutions. And a platform, again, that is a carrier grade capability and how that relates. But at net2phone, we've actually earned every company or every opportunity we've earned from the ground up. We haven't grown. Our growth has been through our customers and continually evolving and bringing new capabilities and customer by customer. It hasn't been through mergers and acquisitions and inflated numbers. And those all bring in separate databases, multiple people going to be gone constantly with that growth and that merger mentality. But it's also important to note we've developed our capability from the ground up. And what does that mean? That means everything works in an interop manner. We have a single login that from one application, you can touch all the applications and vice versa. When you're talking about different platforms and third-party, arrangements like others, that none of that works. And there's no integrations and such like this that they can inherently bring from a developed product from the ground up. We have 150 full-time developers making it the best it can be out there each and every day. Of course, our experience speaks for itself and our IDT backing. Our owner was part of the first VoIP call ever occurred. So yeah, we have great VoIP experience, all going back to the origins of VoIP calls. Of course, again, as we talk about our international capability and our business model that the partner always wins. The partner is favored with us. Others have the direct mentality where they get the love or they get the love today. There's rules, there's engagement rules, there's relationships that you can't work. How frustrating would that be to ask permission to a relationship you own to somebody that's never even sold that deal in their revenue bucket? And there's team chairs out there with them that go and come and go, and then sort of the opportunities with that.
Ryan, this is Jason. Hey, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. Can you actually, I think we need to change your presentation to share screen. It looks like we're possibly viewing your presentation. We just want to make sure that you're sharing your screen.
Let me try that. Yeah, thanks for good to know, and it's super important.
Yes.
Is that better?
Yeah, we just want to make sure that we're seeing the presentation that, there we go. Yes.
Is that working now? All right, thank you. Yeah. So in part, again, a single seat license that we offer, the spiffs and residuals, the ability to mark up is super important for us, and the free ongoing training. Just, again, important recaps for those that are new to net2phone and understanding what, about us and such. So how do net2phone and win with car dealerships, and how are we positioned, and what do we speak to when we have these type of opportunities? Well, it's first important to know the opportunities that are out there. There's some 39,000 car dealerships out there. I've done the math, and that's nearly 800 car dealerships on average per state. That's an important vertical to be aligned into, and the entrance, and look at the car dealerships and all their involvements and their departments and groups and multiple locations and multiple used cars and such like this. It's just always been perfectly aligned with a hosted voice type delivery and the capabilities that we bring. So again, the importance there of knowing that there's just a super intense amount of car dealerships, and what's their needs? Their needs are all around communication, and their pain points are all around communication. So bringing in a tool to help their business become more efficient is what we're all about. So how do we have an impact? And of course, it's just super important to know we have a base set of hosted features that just align with any PBX out there or any supplier out there as far as hosted voice. We bring an extension, voicemail to email, unlimited groups, unlimited departments, unlimited music on hold, which is again super important in auto dealerships with their needs for flexibilities amongst different groups and such like this. We provide unlimited auto attendance in part with our standard feature set in our delivery. Unlimited auto attendance that are set and forget up to 365 days advance. So a car dealership can look ahead and know their known holidays down to a department or a group, or when they're starting business each day and when they're ending and the others aren't. Specifically, our auto attendants give them that unlimited auto attendance, give them that flexibility and that win there. Unlimited groups and departments, again, just super important in a car dealership and having those capabilities. We also provide voicemail transcription standard. We provide call recording standard. How important is that in dispute resolution and new sales training and even advertising tracking? Call recording, super important, unlimited down to each and every user, can be always on, always off, always free with net2phone with call recording. Of course, we provide tools like the mobile application and easy to use portals that are provided for all. Our portals are free to all users based on email. You can either be a user or an admin. If you're an admin, you have web-based rights to make system changes. If you're a user, you only have user rights to make user-based changes naturally. But again, free to use portal included, and tools such as mobile apps, soft phones, such like that, etc., included as well. So what are some of those differentiators we talk to about an auto dealership, and where do we align? Of course, the international need. And we have a very unique selling model, a call path model, or the ability to unbundle. So what does that mean? When most of our competitors are walking into a hosted voice opportunity specific to an auto dealership, they're asking a single question. How many users do you have? They ask that single question because they have a bundled solution, a selling solution that includes a line and a license for each user. Of course, it can be hierarchied up, basic, intermediate, and advanced. But what about those needs and such where the car dealership doesn't need a one-to-one relationship? It's 100 users in total in the opportunity. Many of them are detail shop or maintenance people. They all have accounts on the capability, but do they need 100 calling lines in part? And that's a great model for us, the supplier, to present. But when in those opportunities doesn't align and it doesn't pencil out, if they're looking at a traditional system with a low cost monthly just for their PRI delivery or something, or SIP trunks, how does a bundled scenario compete? It doesn't always align well, and we scratch our heads trying to get in these hosted opportunities. But our unbundled model aligns perfectly with car dealerships. It's almost, it's like PRIs, in my opinion, were developed for car dealers, because what happened in the older days? Well, we walked in and we asked them, how many lines do you have? Well, we have a 4-line part hunt group. We have a 4-line sales hunt group. We have a 4-line service hunt group. And there's times that these lines are available, and there's times when we need more on each group. And I think PRIs were developed for auto dealers. So we came in, we asked them, how many calls do you actually need at any given time? And we sold them those PRI channels. Well, it's the same mentality with Net2Phone, that we can come in and unbundle our solution, ask the line seat question, a differentiating question we can ask right from the onset that can separate yourself, get you into opportunities that aren't aligned to host it, get you into large opportunities, and sell only what the customer needs. This is great for seasonal type business, great for multiple site business. They share lines globally and make calls amongst those shared lines with our capability, but yet their users can be separate. They can have hundreds of users, but yet only a small amount of lines that aligns with their needs. Great selling strategy, especially into car dealerships. Again, the single seat license that has a great impact. The backing that we have in our platform that's going to deliver, and then the support ongoing, and then the features that we talk about within our user-based portal, our web portal that we provide free and included. And of course, we can give partners backdoor entrance into this. We have an inherent WebRTC soft phone built in. So what does that mean? That means that when millions of Americans had to go home because of this god-awful pandemic and start working, they didn't have to get permissions and allowances to get a soft phone. They didn't have to worry about their PC architecture or a dumb terminal or not. Our Net2Phone users went home in this pandemic. They got online and they started collaborating with our inherent soft phone built in, web-based, definitely a strength. We talk about analytics and positioning our analytics capability. Many of our competitors have call center capabilities and they sell them at a high amount, high margin. But call centers don't report down to every individual. Denise in marketing, she's not part of a call center. I'm partner development. I'm not part of a call center group. So what's my daily activity? Am I making the calls each and every day and such? Well, and how are these calls being delivered? Well, we can take the blinders off, not just groups and departments, but all users we can provide to. And we provide this with a free to use demo kit that you, the partner, can have, and take these tools out there and turn up that phone right in front of a dealership. Let them see the analytics and how many calls they're missing each and every day and what that call's worth to them, or how long customers are waiting to talk, or their advertising dollars. A huge, huge selling win for us is talking about who'scalling.com. Who'scalling.com is synonymous into auto dealerships and such like this. And let me shut that off here. But in part, there's paying for advertisement tracking is what Who's Calling is all about. And some are paying upwards of thousands of dollars a month just to track their advertising dollars. Net2Phone can do that for free. We can come in here and provide call recording for free so they can listen to these calls and they can listen to other employees and such, not just the one who's calling is, again, as we're competing against. Huge, huge win with our analytics capability. And of course, we talk about the mobile application and the video conferencing capabilities that we provide standard. Super important as this new norm goes and selling into car dealerships where you got to be able to, again, be online and have this webinar type appearance to sell. and show cars in that manner. Being able to take your mobile application out there and either to send a text or a picture text to a customer about their car or potential car, huge. But also being able to take your phone out there and start a huddle right from your mobile application, because again, we have a single login that all the applications work across. And now I could go live and say, look, here's your car, from end to end. It's beautiful, and it's got that beige interior that you wanted, the confirmation in there, the premium sound that you want, showing that. Those are important tools. And we talk about this with retention and keeping salespeople, top sales talent into your organization. Well, bringing these to tools, insurance, they're going to get the calls and the sales leads and such like this that they've worked, are all super important wins. Of course, we want to talk about integrations and Teams integration and stuff like this. Lead-in question is to talk about integrations today. And we have a great story to tell. We have canned integrations that we directly tie in, already set and ready to go. Of course, Teams being one of them with our native capability into Teams. And we see this more and more with auto dealerships already having it because of the remote needs Teams brought at the onset of this pandemic. They're now entrenched in Teams, and they want to start working within Teams. They see the benefit. Well, we have a great team selling story. We can talk all native into Teams, both our PBX and direct routing. But our API integration is just super important. As every dollar captured or every dollar spent is a must with auto dealerships, and knowing they can look at a database and query what they want, or when a call comes in, understanding that, hey, it's their birthday today, or down to that selling approach that API and integrations bring. Through our Purple Cloud capability and our development, we can access so many tools, not just as they align to auto dealerships, of course, but others as well. We can provide simple entrances into CRMs with our webhooks capability, with our Purple Cloud, and more API integrations with our open-based system. So where is it with where we align with the auto car dealerships and how we can, again, have an impact? We have a superior call handling capabilities with our receptionist console. We have a virtual receptionist console. We know that multiple, that when a call comes into an auto dealership, it's typically at the receptionist level, and they're handing out leads, or they're handing transfers to, high volume transfers to service and support. We have that click, drag, drop functionality all right there, ready to go. Right now, our receptionist console is on promo. It's free to use right now. So for customers as they take in part with Net2Phone, again, that ability to not, being able to easily manage calls, and as calls come return, to reduce pages in that dealership, key elements of what we bring to the table with the receptionist console that looks ahead and sees what's going on, and then ability to transfer across multiple departments, multiple states, etc. The paging integration that I just made mention. I'm keen and really big on reducing pages in an organization, and we can do this through the tools we have, like Find Me, Follow Me, where if a call is transferred, it goes right to that individual, no matter if they're working, today officially or not. That assurance that they're going to get that lead when it calls back in and such, because now that salesperson gets that call, no matter if it's a Sunday and they're not working. But that paging integration is another story. Being able to come into an auto dealership and integrate through internal paging through the phones or external paging. So often I hear the pain points of people trying to work with a TAM-B device, and they can't ever get the paging to work in an auto dealership, multiple calls and everything. Come over to Net2Phone. Our paging integration, take that pain level down to a 9, down to a 1. It's just not even a thought with us. And to be able to page across locations and pick up those calls, all part of what we can bring to the table. Of course, again, the mobile application in conjunction with tools like Find Me, Follow Me, and texting now. One of my major pet peeves of when I was out there each and every day was walking into the organization and seeing personal cell phones on business cards. Salespeople with personal cell phone numbers on business cards. And that's what we had to do. We had to transfer calls to them and such like this. And they wanted the assurance that if they hand it out, they're going to get a customer call back on their phone. Well, who owns that relationship at this point? all that work you've done in developing, training this talent, and then to let them walk away to even another competing dealership, and take that customer base and their knowledge with them. With Net2Phone, get them on a company-based DID or tools and such, and now we can record, monitor, and such like this them and understand their activity. But yet again, give them assurances that their call is their call. Unlimited ring groups, hung groups, music on hold. Again, the selling aspect, being able to sell while they're on hold. Quite often, that's the first thing you're going to get. Can I talk to service? Let me put you on hold. And that point, you could hear a service brochure while they're waiting. Talk to us about our free oil changes for life, or however we want to do that. Bringing that sales into this is something we can position Unlimited with Net2Phone. As I made mention, the texting experience. What other supplier out there with their hosted voice capability provides standard texting individual? Some out there do. Some it's an advanced seat, some not at all, many not at all. But how many provide a group picture component standard? And think of that in the auto dealership industry. I've got a problem with my car sitting in a house. It's got this thing going on. It's coming from this part right here. Taking a picture and sending that picture into the service group and saying it's making this noise. Boom, understanding right there. That picture speaks 1,000 words. Or a salesperson, being able to take a picture of the car out there in the lot right then and there as they're talking to that customer and sending to them. Say, I got your car right here. It's beautiful. Those kind of tools enrich that experience, improve that communication that we're talking about, and again, retain and keep that top talent. Support, again, for remote showings, the new norm, or will it ever go back? We don't know, but we provide tools that align with those capabilities. Again, the huddle capability. And as I made mention, you're right in your soft phone application, or you're right in your mobile application, and now you have that need to instantly connect and huddle. And you can do that with a touch with our capability. And now you start a video conferencing solution where you're going live with that customer. So great capability. And our huddle solution is web-based. So when we talk about delivering this and the user experience, a web-based capability says when I get that invite, if I can enter in my name or initial, then, or a mark at that point, I am joining a huddle call. Imagine that now to the new kids out there, the first-time buyers or mom and pops, when you're trying to send them a video conferencing invite from the other competitors out there, and the first question mom and pop gets is, do I run, download, save this application? What do I do? And that complication that comes about, is there PC architecture even can it do it? Is there a browser even capable of doing it and such like this? With Net2Phone, if we can get to the internet, if you, the customer, can get to the internet, then they're huddling with our video conferencing solution. We also provide a web chat capability, which has just had a great impact in the auto dealership specifically. What is web chat? Well, you've all seen it in some form, that when you go to a website and you're immediately kind of introduced to a pop-up dialogue that says, hey, let me help you. How can I help you today? And we can provide that. We provide that link entrance into dealership websites that can start that customer experience off with a communication, proactive communication, stating, how can I help you? And the importance of that in an auto dealership is multiple auto dealerships, they do. We have Sound Ford up here, but we also have Sound Chevrolet as well, and such like this. So that ability to come in to a central location, understand what the customer is looking for, and then align that customer right to the strength of our selling solution is what web chat's all about. I've talked to RV dealers as well, and some sell Class A's here and Class B's out of this location, and there's a specialist here in this location that knows everything. Well, being able to take that call, understand their needs, and now get it to those type of peoples across the country, super important capability with our web chat, free and included with our hosted delivery. Of course, again, the management tools are super important. The integrations, as I speak to, the partnership with Purple Cloud brings us already canned integrations, but also easy entrance into most all others out there. The webhooks capabilities, intelligence is smart. It's simply asking if this, do this type of statements. And we can bring that very easy with our open capabilities and our alignments. Super important with auto dealerships and their importance of each and every customer and that experience, and understanding that they need, again, query databases for all 2,000 Imprezas that have a recall right now. Being able to grab those and get out there and call those customers first and bring in that new revenue from that as they're getting paid from the manufacturer to do that recall type support. Super important back end type deliverances that CRMs bring. And then, of course, the understanding that that salesperson connection with that customer is their connection with the customer, not being stolen and savvy, worked around somehow. Those type of tools are super important. Robust analytics, again, taking the blinders off. And that's what we bring to the table, not just call center type capabilities and only positioning those and reporting to those and the expense of that. We free and include with our analytics and taking the blinders off. The call recording for dispute resolution. And again, making mention of that who'scalling.com. Who'scalling.com is, thousands of dollars a month into a dealership. And they're tracking their advertising calls through specific 800 numbers that the customer doesn't own, that Who's Calling owns. And that's how they get sticky. They don't let that customer ever have that 800 number back. They won't give it to them back. It's Who's Calling number. And Who's Calling is giving them call recording on those calls, those sales calls that are coming in, and tracking that advertisement. But coming in, not only can we track those sales calls, but we can track every employee with call recording. And again, with the analytics, we can provide that free and included in part, take away that selling need that they don't no longer have or have a need for, the expense of that. The call path model, that PRM mentality coming right into the auto dealership, perfectly aligned as they have groups, departments, multiple different needs going on. The detail shop over here needs a line, and the used car parts needs lines, the service support. We come in, ask the single question that disrupts the industry. How many lines and how many phones do you need? And we can position the sale around that. They're always a customer. Moving forward, as this low-cost model gets you in the door, the ability to add users independently keeps you in the door and adding lines when they need. Even seasonally, if they see a big sale coming on, they can add a couple lines here and there and then turn them down or turn them up when they need, for seasonal type delivery models or high impact promotions or such like this. We can bring that to the table with the call path model. Customer for life is no bundled solutions going to come in and upset that apple cart right there. Accessories and equipment, cordless phones, paging, those type of tools, again, super important to have, as well as just the standard desk phone and headsets, and all being able to work together and stuff that we bring to the table each and every day for auto dealerships. Here on the screen now, hopefully you all can see this, and thank you again for that alert and bringing that to the table here. But here's just an example portal view that we have in front of you. This is what our user experience looks like each and every day. Web-based tool that all is given away free. And of course, as a partner, we can give you backdoor entrance. So if you need to be an admin type relationship and need to be able to manage that capability through the settings, we can do that. If you are deemed an admin, then you have access rights into company and settings. If you're a user-based rights, these would be grayed out and not allowed to you. Just natural there as it goes. But just a quick glance of this, again, inherently built into the portal is our web-based tool right here. The ability to send and receive text are right here. The ability to have a dashboard where we can see what extensions what or what departments what. Super important, like a Rolodex on steroids right there for that. And again, I'll show you these tools here. But as I made promise, here's that single login structure that we have that, again, from any application, I can access other applications. That's all a part with our homegrown capability that we bring, that we've developed in-house. Third-party solutions, multiple platforms, they don't have this capability. It's different logins for each. As I made mention, the webhook capability or the web chat functionality that we have here is just kind of shown here and on a quick and easy display that we start, again, managing that call from the onset as they enter into our website. We start talking to them and communicating their needs. And this could move to a live conversation if we needed to, with our web capability, our web chat right here. We also just need to be, cognitive and in mind of the team's relationship and lead in question. Now, if you're not talking teams, please get with us and let us help you, educate you on teams and how it can have an impact. 125 million people using Teams right now globally. It surpassed Microsoft's even wildest dreams of what it brings. And ultimately, Microsoft is now a competing entity with a phone system solution of their own. We don't see it that way. We see them as a collaboration piece versus a competitor. And the fact that let them their vast reach bring to us these opportunities, new opportunities globally and internationally and such like this. But let's tie them into net2phone with our abilities that aren't found in Microsoft and their calling plans or their phone system solution, all natively impacted in Teams. Our customers come to us in a Teams environment and say they don't want to learn anything new, but yet they don't like Microsoft's capabilities and their 3 nines of non-SLA delivery. Well, we have a great story to tell where they don't learn anything new because we're native into Teams. So when they're making Teams calls, it stays in Teams. Differentiator between almost all the others out there as a new applet and pop-up comes up, and now that's how they're making Teams calls. It's no longer Teams. It's something else, something that they didn't want. And of course, as we make mention with our API integrations and our developments, it's just bring us these opportunities. It strengthens us as a company to be able to not only provide direct, but easy webhook entrance into potential opportunities with, again, statements as if this, do this type of thought behind them. So we can bring this very easily into organizations now, and through varying means and multiple types open to us. And of course, it's also where it's important and where it's deemed necessary. I'll say it, I'll go out on a limb here and say one of our glowing weaknesses over time has been our ability to have the most advanced call center. Of course, we have hunt groups and department groups and such like this, and there's intelligence within those. But when they have the highest needs of call center or contact center availability options for those, couple percent out there, then we had a drop off with net2phone in the old days. But that was the old days. Now look at us here. We have a reselling agreement with one of the top carriers in the country, and I understand that Five9's just sold the largest deal in one of the major known master agencies out there. Some plus $1 million contract yearly. And so again, talk about getting into these large arrangements and having these super important needs. We understood this. We recognized it. It was a weakness. It's now a strength of ours with our partnership, selling Five9 on net2phone paper and that capability now getting us into all the deals, not just a majority of the deals. When we talk about pricing and positioning, we talk about starting off at a very low capability with our bundled solutions. The bundled solutions give us that line license, unlimited line mentality that we bring. But and where and when they make sense, it's super important to have these. Customers can bring us their own phones. We can provide phones. We can rent phones. We can bundle the phones. But what you see in our bundles here is only the differentiator is the type of phone itself. Again, we deliver the line, the single seat license mentality, and the customers choose the phone they wish. That's how we differentiate our bundled solutions. Our competitors not only have the phone question and the phone challenge, but they also have the seat question of, is it an advanced user? Is it a basic user? Is it an intermediate user? Down to everybody, each and every time they do a new add-in or from the onset, not net2phone. Super huge win for us. And of course, the unbundled solution. Always ask the line and seat question. I used to ask it a million times in my old PBX phone system days, but now I ask it each and every time. How many lines and how many phones you have. Strengthen your position, get you into opportunities, keep a customer for life, and win deals with the unbundled capability. And of course, as we make mention, SIP trunking as lines, the traditional analog lines continue to, de-escalate across the country and price keeps going up. Having a SIP trunk with unlimited usage with a calling plan from a SLA-backed capability is super important. And of course, we align perfectly well. As we talk about teams and our team selling pricing and the ability to get into direct routing, and then direct routing with UCaaS, again, if they want to stay within teams and have teams be the brains of the functionality controlling entity, we have a great story to tell. If they want the best of breed phone system, where I know Teams was down like 4 times in December alone, in each and every one of those occurrences, the net2phone phone system solution up, running, working. So again, the ability to provide the best of breed phone system, but yet natively work within Teams on down to a user basis. With our call path model into Teams, we can ask the line seat question, sell users that don't need team our capability very easily, but also for those that need that Teams interjection, sell a simple Teams add-on. So we can deliver this in like a mesh hybrid call path unbundled model. No one else can do that out there in the marketplace. So again, just keep in mind net2phone, the focus that we have, the partner always wins. We own and operate our own capability, giving us multiple proactive advantages out there that specifically align to the dealerships and such like this. And then of course, all the freebies in part with a single seat license, and the experience continues and evolves with the engineer and project management, driving the bus for the installation. And of course, handing it off to a US-based support that operates 24/7. Huge advantages with net2phone. So what I like to do now is move my screen over and actually show you our portal database here, just our portal and some of the advantages of this, and specific, again, the advantages of a car dealership and how we align. So as I made mention, this is free to all users. Of course, a partner can get a demo kit with this capability included in part, and a phone and the working tools. And we encourage each and every one of you here to, be part of that. And also, again, the ability to demonstrate that to a customer and to an auto opportunity. But to be able to come from that, so get rid of that, and being able to come in, and as a user, again, I could be home or I could be in the office, but I can have access to all my team members and knowing what the extensions are and what the departments and groups are. Knowing that in a remote environment where I can't just ask somebody else what it is, super important to have that Rolex type delivery here for us. And as I mentioned, the texting component. Who else, again, has texting standard, but also not only texting standard, but group and picture delivery. One of the major focuses on our dealerships, one of the reasons they call is almost like 50% of the time, are you open and available? Now, not only can they call into these groups, but they can text into these groups and ask these type of questions, and getting that instant gratification right from the onset, super important. But imagine me, Brian Holdorf, coming in, and I'm working at a car dealership, and I come in the morning, and as a salesperson, I get my first text message that, did my new license plate come in? I'm not in the new license plates delivery, but they contacted me because I was the salesperson record. But look what I can do to this now. I can come in here and I can actually take and redirect that text. I don't handle the licensing department and I don't know, but I can go to my licensing team and ask them with a warm handoff through a text message and say, hey, can you help this person and answer their question, and transfer it into the licensing group, and just like that, they handle it. Super capability, important through the texting component that we bring to the table. Or how about I come in and now, as I've handled my individual text, but here I'm part of the sales queue, and here's a text, here's a text really interested in new Ford Ranger, hoping that I can get one. How cool is that I can come in here now in a group text environment, and now I can come out here and I can answer that customer right away with the capability of saying, yeah, I can do that. And I could come back and say, yes, I want to, yes, we have a Ford Ranger, and I could come into my pictures. I could take a picture of that truck and say, boom, here's your truck right here, Mr. and Mrs. Customer. And again, that tools that are super important to have in this new norm going forward, keeping and retaining that top talent, but underlying instant communication with the customer. One of the big pet peeves of customers in their selling experience, we bring to the table with group and picture text delivery. From a call capability, as I made mention, being able to monitor, record, track, report on all types of calls, not just call center, again, only those people and that expense of that, but being able to do this in a free environment where, again, I can see if junior's calling girlfriend all day long, or as a sales team, are they making their calls each and every day? And as a manager, I could come in here and now look at this and use our filter program and say, over the last week, did our team members make, our sales team members make, how many calls did they make? And very easily being able to group and departmentalize calls and activity. And again, and not only taking that activity, and generating reports from it, but visually being able to understand and see through our analytics piece, how many calls are coming into your organization? How long are they waiting before they talk to people? When is their busiest times calling in? And as I made mention, being able to track the advertising dollars we spend out there. What do car dealers do? They advertise in paper A, newspaper B. They advertise in radio A and radio B. And which ones are most effective for them? Which regions are weakening? Which are they paying the most for that advertising? But now to be able to track and bring those advertising calls in and understanding when they're coming in, how they're coming in, how many are coming in, and now being able to go out there and bring that into your advertisement companies and saying, look, it isn't effective for us. How important is that? Or again, to be able to understand how active these calls are and what regions they're coming in for and why they're coming in, and maybe doing promotions around them. All part of what we bring to the table with our analytics. Again, these tools are available to you, the partner, and you can now bring those to the customer in their experience. If you're looking at the management capabilities of this, it's super easy to manage and self-manage this capability. And with the day-to-day needs and such like this, I kind of bring in a scenario of, Bruce handles our front desk calls. Here's our look of our groups and our users right here, a quick look at our users. And we bring this up because Bruce handles our day-to-day reception type calls. It's 8 o'clock and Bruce is a no-show. What do we do? The phones are off night mode automatically and they're ringing, and we can grab, John down from parts and have him come sit here and be unproductive, but yet manage it to, trying to answer these calls while they're sitting at somebody's unfamiliar desk. Or I can take this and say, hey, Thor, you've helped us in the past answer front desk calls. Can you quickly and easily help us and start answering front desk calls? And it's that quickly and easily I can have front desk calls now ringing at another person's desk through another group or department. And in part, and now, the drama's over. Bruce showed up and, had a tough night, but now he's answering the calls as he should. We could come back in here very easily and say, Thor, thank you so much for helping us out with these front desk calls, and effectively click them right out of that group and department and no longer receiving those type of calls. So again, that ability to being able to quickly and easily bring these in. Or Karen just quit. Karen, is involved. She has customers calling her right now, and they're forwarding over to her cell as they should, but yet, she's talking to them from another company at this point. We need to stop that right away. I could come in here and as a management just delete Karen and make it go away, but let's be a little more methodical. Let's work backwards on this. Let's go into the Karen's voicemail, reset the password, and default the greeting to default. Let's come in here and take her out of any groups, departments, and take that phone number that's calling into her cell and reposition into a manager very quickly. And lastly, let's just come in here and change Karen's name to Spare. That's how quick and easily we can self-management just some of those day-to-day type needs. Or what about a group or department? We know so many groups and departments are out there. One of the popular ones is like an online department now. They have the need, and if you talk to the having a specific number for them is super important, because they have a different selling strategy and a different approach, even different pricing. As I've recently bought a car, and I went and I saw an ad online. I called in and verified it. I got to the dealership. I didn't tell them I was an online person or anything. And I got a price for the car from a normal salesperson, and the pricing was different. So again, that made me mistrust that dealership right from the onset, and I walked away. But if we could have, again, aligned that customer right with that person through database, through our, again, having them, when they call this number, and that's the number they know, and it goes to our group, we can do that. How do I add it? How do I set up an online department? With our net to phone interface, I come right here, set a new department right here. I want to add a department. I want to add our online sales. It auto assigns an extension, or I can pick one. I can choose from a known number or one of our spare numbers that are available. And I simply check the group members that are going to be part of this. And you know what you've done? You've set up an online department. You're ready to go with calls coming in to a new department or group we set up. What about those auto attendants? I made mention to that. Super important to have unlimited auto attendants. So many others restrict it. Teams restricts how many auto attendants you can have. Other companies charges by the auto attendant. But with the flexibility to have, parts, sales, group, used cars, every group and department have a unique auto attendant that starts when they start, ends when they end, goes to lunch when they go to lunch. Super important. All your known holidays can be set and forget up to 365 days advance with these auto attendant capabilities that we have. Of course, we talk about blocking callers and 911 and such like this, multiple sites being able, interoperate and communicate. How about if a 911 is called from used cars that's across the street? And we want to understand that. We need to recognize that as a company, and note that we're going to start massaging that 911 call right from the get-go and make sure they arrive at the important place and such. But having that ability to get that alert notification of that. Again, our APIs here and available. We're running towards the APIs and making us that much stronger, making you that much stronger in part. And again, setting up all these intelligent schedules and the music on hold, and be able to either upload a professional or set your own. We can do that very easily through net2phone. Being able to, again, to do simple things like block callers now. We constantly are getting inundated from a new parts company that's just, calling us every day, or we get a call and we pick up and it's a fax line each and every time or something like this. Well, we can easily come in here and block those calls or allow them on a call-by-call basis. So again, just these easy-to-use tools that we provide. It's also super important. I'll show here, I think I have my team session open, and as again, Teams is super important to talk to, and it's a lead-in conversation, and so many of our opportunities come to us, and they want Teams, and they want to stay within Teams. They don't want to learn anything new. Well, here's my Teams look and feel right here, and where we have the impact is in the call capability. If that customer has the appropriate call license to make calls, they now, with our net2phone integration, have a calling component within Teams. But the great thing about it is it's Teams. They stay within Teams. Native integration. If this was the case with 99% of the other competitors out there, when they hit the call, now a new button comes up, blah, 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 central for Teams. It's exactly what the customer didn't want. And what about patch updates and such like this that Microsoft routinely brings out? In those instances, that's going to be down right now. Those are going to be down tools until a new patch is developed or something. And Microsoft, again, doesn't care about those. They don't know about those, and they don't care about those. So it's going to happen, and it's going to happen to your customer. Not with net2phone. We stay within Teams because we are Teams. So super huge advantage here for us. Lastly, I just want to talk about and make mention to the installation process. And again, as it relates to auto dealerships and such, it's just again another important piece and what we bring to the table. With hosted voice, we can provide a very soft landing into an installation and an installation process. We can work with that customer and get them feeling customer, get the collection of their database as our project manager does each and every day. We get ahead through automation with the porting right off the onset of a new sign up. We get ahead. We send them out the configuration. We send them out the porting because we want to make sure we're aligned with their alignment. And in part, we start working this opportunity with the goal being that we're driving the bus, that the customer knows what to expect next because they can see what's coming and the communication is there. Again, the technical liaison is there and available in part with that as well. Working that and making sure that everything's working. But when we deliver our services and the phones arrive and they're plug and play, there's no, unlock code that nobody knows and on each and every phone and such like this. As they arrive, they're identified and they can be running, working, tested. We can do training in advance of a live rollout, all the way up and to include pushing out even their main number through our phony number that we provide for testing. We could have them call forward ahead of the port, and when the port occurs, we can do that. We're super flexible, and we can roll out in one set or one site or roll out in all sites. So again, the flexibility behind how we deliver is super important because we don't want to disrupt the day-to-day car sales activity. So getting ahead of it, getting it placed in a soft manner is super huge advantage. And to know us is to know we are a traditional telecom biller. What does that mean? That means our customer gets the bills after they go live. So many other competitors out there, you are now signing up and you're signing up in that moment and your customers are getting bills before they even start the solution. That's an uncomfortable place to be in. And they're getting bills with added auto attendance that they weren't aware of that they are calling. And now you're in this middle position of a no-win, and what that impact has to you and your payments and such like this. Again, we can bring this in a traditional type delivery where the customer receives a bill about 45 days after they go live. We have a 30-day unconditional assurance in part with our capability. So again, the testing, the training, the turn-up period is there. And then the go forward live guarantee assurance starts when they actually go live with Net2Phone. I've spoke about a lot today. I hope you guys have come back with something and takeaways here and how we can win with the auto dealerships and Net2Phone. And I'm here to help. Denise, our team, Jason here, all here to help. Our in-region channel managers are intelligent, they're smart, they're seniors, they're looking to help push and pull these relationships and these wins. I'm Brian Holdorf, and I just can't thank you enough for your time today and again, your participation. Take care out there and be safe.